Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. How's everybody doing this fine evening? Hey, Carla, you number one girl. Thank goodness you're here. Yep, PG's back. All right, Seeking Truth number two. Hello, PG mods in chat. Hello, hello to you guys. God bless. Good to see you in here. You're number two tonight, girl. And Deborah, you are number three. All right. Hello, PG and everyone praying for Summer Moon Tall Wells. God bless. We all are. God bless. And Lisa, number four. There we go. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Let's get this party started, right? Hey, Anna, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. There's Mama. How you doing, Mama 24? Hey, there's the Boondocks. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Bonnie, how you doing? Suzanne, our bucket list has holes. Good to see everybody coming in. Um, yeah, a lot going on, right? A lot going on. Uh, Fred Hill's sister, right? Just came out. Fred Hill's sister came out. Hey, Patty. Good to see you, girl. Um, Came out and oh, I know she told it before. I know she told it before, but it's been so long. It's been so long, right? And we heard, but this time it was loud, clear, right out of the horse's mouth, right? We all got to hear Fred's sister literally come up on panel and talk, right? And very interesting stuff. She said, I really, you know, I mean, the insight on Fred, the insight, like, his wallet, he lost his wallet in the woods and then asked people to give him money and then he can't ever find his wallet to pay him back. Gives you some insight on, how crafty he is, right? How dirty and crafty he is. And so stuff like that, um, telling us about how he, pulled the pulled the weapon out on his sister and put one through the wall and then trying to say that and Laura tried to say the same thing, that the sister um had a firearm as well and pulled it. um so Fred took his and basically fired back. But they said, sister had no. I think if the sister had a weapon, she would have used it after he fires at her, right? She'd have been afraid not to. And I also heard that she ran up into, some shack or shed or something on the property, some camper maybe, I don't know, and he came out there, terrorizing her until law enforcement got there. So um it wasn't the sister that was talking, it was the other sister she was talking about, that Fred did these things to. Hey, how you doing? Justice for you. Good to see you, Brat. God bless. Retired lady. Good to see you, hon. Good to see all of you guys. Karen. I fuff y'all up. Hey, Leslie, how you doing, sweetie? Renee, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Miss Prissy Paws, how you doing, sweetie? But yeah, so you know that that didn't matter because that can be tossed to the four winds. What matters is she talked about clothes, right? Some clothes. She talked about these wet clothes being in a washer, right? Um, or in a bag, a wet bag of clothes. And then she talked about um, clothes that, you know, children's clothes that seem to be set aside, getting ready to be, um, tossed into the fire pit. And then she talked about, um, a white T-shirt, a child's white T-shirt in the bathroom on the floor, muddy as it could be, and mud everywhere from something, right? She said there was mud in the bathroom, all kinds of mud in the bathroom, and a child's white muddy T-shirt in there as well. Um, Wait until you hear on Ziggy. The daughter said out loud she is defending her daughter drinking. Oh, I hope that kid's drinking soda pop. I hope she's talking about soda pop, right? I don't know. I don't know. Was she talking about I heard something about that. I heard that the daughter was in the background talking about how she drinks. Is that true? Put a one in the chat if that's true, because I think that's what I got relayed to me earlier. Miss Prissy Pauls, I appreciate that member for 27 months. Hey, girl, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a member of Summer's channel for 27 months. God bless. God bless you. Um, absolutely. Amen. Oh, exactly. Our bucket list has holes. Absolutely. Thank you for continued support for Summer's channel. Yes. Um, IPG number one, I admire so much. Get so much strength from. Hey Shelly, how you doing, hon? How you doing? Good to see you tonight. But yeah, um, yes. Okay, Carla. Yeah, that's what someone was talking to me about a little bit earlier. That I guess the little girl was talking about how she does it, right? In the background. Um, well, Ziggy was trying to make biscuits. What our noodles or fucking something. I don't know. She was making something, right? I can't even remember what she's making. Hey Kim, I appreciate that. Member for 19 months. All right. All right, girl. I appreciate that. Much love and respect. Keep up the good work. Hey girl. Much love to you and God bless. I respect all of you guys being here all the time, supporting these missing children. God bless you. Um, yeah, but I heard that. And I'm going to tell you something. I've got a team. Matter of fact, I got three of them right now. Three. One going, one getting there really quick. But I'm going to tell you something. Man, you ain't going to hear one of my kids talking that kind of crap in no background. Not at all. I'm going to tell you something. I don't put the bottle to my brother's mouth, let alone my children. I don't put anything that, is going to impair someone's judgment. No. I speak against it. I speak against that stuff, and I speak against it really hard because, alcohol and drugs do nothing but destroy a human's life. It destroys your life, man. It destroys you. It's bad. It's really bad. And it, keeps you from being able to function. It keeps you from being able to function the way you should. I mean, people should get up every day, high on life What you should be high on is life. What you should be high on is knowing that God Almighty gave you a life to live is yours, and you should be out there living it, not addicted to something that's going to hinder you from living, right? And that's just what I think, I don't need none of that stuff, right? I don't need it. And my kids sure to hell ain't gonna be doing none of that. I've been there. Been there, done that. Praise the Lord. I was able to walk away from it. I was able to walk away from it. You know. And I don't want my kids ever to get into it because I've seen a lot of people that didn't. Seen a lot of people that didn't. It's bad stuff, and it leads you into bad places. I'm talking, it's a cesspool from hell. That's what it is. And you have no idea. You're like blind as a bat when you're in there. You're blind as a bat. You think you're cool, and you think you're somebody, and you think that everybody, everybody's your friends, and whoop, whoop, bright lights, and you partying down, and, you think you're somebody, and I'm going to tell you, it's all a false narrative, man. It's all bullshit. And you're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones if you're still sitting there when a whole lot of other ones are gone. You were lucky. You got to look up, and, I can't count how many times. I can't even count how many times God's saved PG. I'm going to tell you, God had my back. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm still sitting here today. I've seen so many times I might not have been, but he pulled me through. So, man, that stuff's for the fucking dogs. Leave it alone. And, Ziggy should be trying to raise, Ziggy knows what it's like to be in that shit. She should be trying to raise somebody better than that, right? We want better for our kids. We want better for them. I don't know what the hell she's thinking. She should have left her daughter with her mother. Her mother was raising her daughter, and she should have left her there. Because I think her mother would probably be doing a better job than this, right? I think her mommy would be doing a lot better job. This little girl, with what that little girl had told, and people say, oh, it's none of your business. I fucking think it is. I think it is our business. Anytime the child is being aided and abetted by the parent to be able to do evil things that it should not be doing, that's our business. And if you're aiding and abetting your child in doing evil stuff, that's child abuse. Child neglect and abuse in my eyes. Right? I mean, you don't let your child, be out there possibly catching up some bad stuff. You don't let your child be out there, getting habits that it should not ever have. You don't let your child do that. You demand that your children get educated. You demand that they get on a better path, that you demand that, they become somebody in this world and not a freaking statistic, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I could say, well, she don't care about her kid. Why should anybody else? But that ain't the way to look at it. She ain't doing that kid no good. That little girl, needs to go to school and get educated. That little girl needs to understand that, drinking and doing illegal substances ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. What's cool is saying no. What's cool is staying the hell away from that stuff. What's cool is, growing a damn brain and becoming something in your life besides a piece of garbage, right? That's what's cool, you know. But she's probably going to go the same way as her mama did because, her mama ain't teaching her no better. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, my mother knew. My mother knew. She knew, she knew that I was, into some really, really bad shit I shouldn't have been into. My mother, I'm going to tell you, your parents know. Your parents know everything, you know? But, my mother, my mom, and my dad, they tried to talk to me. They tried to tell me, I was heading down the wrong path. I wouldn't listen. I had to hit the brick wall, right? I had to hit that brick wall because I just, I wasn't willing to listen. And, especially, when you're raised in a house of hell and nobody ever, gave a shit when you were younger. They didn't give a crap when you was younger when they were abusing the hell up out of you. Why are you going to listen to somebody when you're a teenager? Why are you going to listen to somebody that, what you're running away from? Why are you going to listen to what you're trying to run away from? All the hell and abuse you went through, and that's what happens to a lot of kids. A lot of kids are in homes that, a whole lot of hell and abuse, and they become teenagers and they're not going to listen to what anybody's got to say when they hit those teenage years because you're exactly what they're trying to run from. They're like, why the fuck you care now? Right? You're the reason I'm running. You're the reason I'm in this cesspool trying to get away. So, I don't know. I don't think that's, Ziggy's daughter's problem. I think Ziggy's daughter's problem is that she's just in a cesspool with a mom that, you know, trying to be her little friend instead of her mother. I think Ziggy's afraid to try to be the girl's mother. She's afraid she might want to go back to grandma. So Ziggy's trying to play this buddy system, and and Ziggy's ignorant. She's ignorant, right? She figures, oh, I did all these things, I did all these things when I was young. This is what young people do. No, it might be what you did, but that ain't what young people do. You know, that's what, that's what, you know, that's what, that's what hood kids do. That's what kids in the hood, kids that come from broken and abusive homes and things do. But if you go to real good middle class families, you go to upper rich families, you know, those kids, I'm not saying they don't experiment because they do. They experiment with stuff, in their teen years, their young adult, but they get away from it. They get away from it. They get, colleged up, they get educated, and they become, judges and doctors and lawyers and dentists and all the things, making all the big money, and they get away from it. They're not going, it's just for a season. It's just for a season. The problem is with people from the hood, they get into it and damn, they're rocking in a fucking rocking chair, still blowing a blunt, right? Just saying. They old ass don't ever get away from it. Right? They sitting on the front porch 90 years old, rolling a fatty. I mean, that's insane, but it happens. Just saying. I think her daughter's like, I think her daughter was like 14 when Summer first went missing. So 15, 16, about 17. She's about 17 now. She's probably about 17. If Ziggy was telling the truth. Oh, she's 16. Oh, so she'd have been 13. She'd have been 13 when Summer went missing? Yeah. She'd only been 13. Whoa. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good, you guys. That's not good at all. I'm going to tell you something. Um, I've already got one child in college, teenager, graduated early, teenager, already started college. That's my oldest, already in college. I'm not going to sit around and let my kids' lives go to waste. Doing excellent, doing really good. And my next one, same way, be in college. My daughter, she'll be in college. My kids are going to get educated. I demand that. They ain't got time. They ain't gonna have no time to be. They ain't gonna have no time to be running around with their shirt off and, you know, they ain't got no time to be doing that. I catch my daughter in a two-piece bathing suit, and I'll tell you what, all hell break loose. She puts on a full piece bathing suit. It's got a little skirt, like a skirt around it. And she, you know, I believe in keeping that ass covered. Right? She don't need to flaunt it. She don't need to flaunt it. You know, I let her go swimming and stuff. Of course, she goes swimming. They have pool parties and stuff, but she ain't gonna be running around. She ain't gonna be running around like no hoochie. I'll tell you that now. Not my daughter. Hell no. She wants to become one of those. She's gonna have to do it when she becomes of age, right? Ain't gonna do it on my watch. And trust me, I'm watching. Right? She got 3 brothers. I better not see anything close to her. If some boy likes my daughter, he can do it from a distance. And when she's old enough, he can pop up with the ring. If she says yes, then I don't care. But until then, if he just pops up, let me tell you something. He'll be popping out real quick. Yeah, that is great, showstopper. Absolutely. That is awesome. You know, you're supposed to, as you know, God, parents, a mom and a dad, they are the angels. They're earthly angels. They're supposed to be watching over these babies and taking care of them and, you know, taking good care of them and educating them up. You know, you bath your kids every day and you put them in clean clothes. Why? Because you want your children to have a sense of pride. You don't want kids making fun of them, laughing at them, or, you know, looking down on them. You want your children to have a sense of pride. You know, you always let your kids know, you know, where they came from. You always let your kids know that they're not above anyone else, to treat all people with respect. But, you know, there's nothing ungodly about soap and water. There's nothing ungodly about soap and water. There's nothing ungodly about wearing clean clothes and keeping yourself presentable, you know, in society. Absolutely not. You don't want the people around you smelling your ass, right? That's why you bath. That's why you use good soaps, and you know, wash your clothes and good soaps, and keep yourself clean, keep yourself maintenance. That's why you freaking comb your hair and brush your teeth and take care of your ass, right? You don't want to be looked down upon. But the Wells kids, wasn't taken care of like that. Those kids went through a lot of abuse at school and other places because of the way, nobody was teaching them how to, be any different. And the oldest boy, he's already got a bad stigma against him because Dom was taking him to work and sharing illegal stuff with him. And that's just bullshit. I mean, how does it sound when someone allows their children, little children? I mean, that little girl's only 16. She's a child. She's just a child. You really going to let your child, be out there vulnerable to all the things in the world that can destroy it? I mean, you're not even giving this little girl a chance to become of age and then make the choices if she wants to fuck her life up or not. I mean, it's parents are supposed to keep their kids, godly. You're supposed to keep your children godly until they're of age. You can't really tell them what to do once they become of age, but you gotta pray that you instilled enough, enough wisdom, kindness, love, and caring in them that they're not going to stray from what you taught them, right? The path you set for them, you put them on, and you pray every day they stay on it. Because you don't, I ain't worried about just the roof over my kids' heads or the food on my kids' table or the clothes on my kids' back. I'm worried about my kids' soul. I'm worried about if my kid's soul is going to end up in heaven or hell. I worry about my own soul. I don't love my kids as much as I love myself. That's crazy, right? I'm going to be worrying about my soul, but not my children's. That's kind of selfish. I worry about my kids' soul. Where are they going to end up at? Right? I'm trying to keep my kids, I'm trying to keep my kids holy, to be honest with you, like God wants me to. And lead them on the righteous path. So, if something happens, I'm not going to have to wonder if my child, did it go up or down? I don't want to think about that. That's something I don't want to think about. I want to, something was to happen, God forbid. I want to say, hey, well, I know that one day I'm going to see my child again because I had a good child. I didn't have it, pass away OD'd. I didn't have it pass away out there, in a cesspool of violence where it was doing wrong when it ended up passed away. Because I don't know at that point where my kid's going. And that would worry me. And it would make me feel bad. It would make me feel bad. Because I would feel that, I didn't do what needed to be done to stop it. I've got one shot. I've got one shot at raising my kids right. Right. I'm their parent first and then their friend. We get both done, of course. My fam comes before me. Absolutely. I heard that. But I don't know about Ziggy's kid. I don't know about her kid. I just, I don't think Ziggy's good for other people. She wasn't good for Jenna. She wasn't good for me. It just sounds like she's not good for this little girl. She wasn't good for Jim. Ziggy just seems to not be good for people. She's evil, man. She's evil. You know, people, evil people feel they're going to hell anyway, so they might as well take everybody else with them. I guess I don't know. I'm not evil, so I don't know. But that's the feeling I get. That's the feeling I get from these evil people. They don't care who else. They love to destroy others. Misery likes company. Misery likes company, right? Evil loves evil. If you're not evil, evil will flee you. When you get with God and you see all these people disappear, these so-called friends, well, they wasn't your friends. If they was really your friends, they'd still be around. They're not your friends, right? I knew, I knew this. I'm just going to tell this little piece real quick, and then I'm going to get to what we came here for. But I knew this little girl, and she came from a really messed up home, and she was real religious. And I was at someone's house. I was at somebody's house one day, and this little girl shows up. She knocks on the door. She shows up to see this other girl that was there, and she was really, really a good girl, real nice, kind, God loving child. And she shows up to see this other girl, and this other girl was like a real ass, a real ass. And the reason she was an ass is because she was evil. She didn't want to hear about God. She didn't want to hear about none of these things. And she pretty much ran the little girl off. The one that, the little God caring girl. She ran her off. And I was there. I was there watching it all, hearing it all. And I'm going to tell you something. I just thought to myself, you know, bitch, that was your loss, not hers. You ran her out of here, but that was your loss, not hers. You're just an evil human being. You want to be evil. You know, you're just nasty. You're just butt fucking nasty, right? Just butt fucking nasty. That was it. And it was true. It was true. And, you know, I just kind of didn't want nothing else to do with this person after that. I mean, it kind of showed me who and what they was. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But that's a true story, right? True story. So, you know, I did take note that when the girl first knocked on the door and came in, that, this evil person was really happy to see him, right? Really happy to see him. But the minute they thought, you know, this is about God, or realized that this girl isn't into party down, be nasty, they sent her running. Um, but they were excited. They were excited when they thought that she was, possibly gross as well. Um, you know, to see her. They was happy to see her before they realized, she was a good person. I did take note of that as well, you know. So just goes to show you, when you see stuff like this, you got to question, what are you in, right? What exactly am I in right now? I'm in a cesspool, right? Maybe I should be running for that door. Maybe I should be getting the hell out of this, right? If you got any brains, that's what you'll be thinking anyway. She's not evil, but I don't want to hear such foul things from a suspect of Sebastian's disappearance. I had to unsubscribe because it's not positive energy. Um, Sebastian Rogers? Who did you unsubscribe to? Sebastian Rogers' case is a mess right now. Sebastian Rogers' case is a real cesspool. When none of us know what happened to this kid. This boy is a teenager. Sebastian Rogers is was a, you know, 15-year-old teenage boy with a mind of his own. And it's not like he's a little 5-year-old or 6 or 7 or 8. He was a grown up, a young man. He was actually a young man, 15-year-old young man with a mind of his own. And, you know, I know it looks suspicious that he had no shoes or coat or phone or anything. And he just disappears in his mother's custody somewhere in the middle of the night. I gotta say, that looks pretty shady as hell, right? It looks shady as hell to me. You know, that that all of this went down. And I understand why people suspect Katie and Chris, especially Katie, firsthand. I see how people suspect Katie firsthand. I'm not gonna lie. She's my number one suspect too. She's my number one suspect because she was there when it happened, right? She's my number one suspect. But she may have not have done nothing. She could have not have done nothing. Because, if he was 5 years old, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind then. Right? If he was 6 or 7, there'd be no doubt in my mind. But 14, 15, 16, this is the age when these kids start getting a little weird. And, they got it. Like I said, teenagers have a mind of their own. You don't know what the hell they might do. They could do anything. And, and Seth even told us that his son would go into men's bathrooms, and he thought it was funny that his son would go in there and be like, show me yours, I'll show you mine. I don't think that's funny. And if that was my kid, let me tell you, it wouldn't have been doing that no more. No more. One time, and it wouldn't have did that again. Right? You got to teach your kids stranger danger. You got to let your kids know that, you go in there and do something like that, and this weirdo might follow you home, and, you could get people hurt. You could get yourself hurt. You could get yourself on live doing stupid things like that. You don't do that. That's crazy. I wouldn't have let him go to a public bathroom. If I knew he would do this, I wouldn't let him go. It would use the bathroom at home, and you won't be using it again till you get home, right? Make sure you go to the restroom before we leave, because you will not be going anywhere else. You can't be trusted to go anywhere else. You have to teach a kid that this is dangerous. And for all I know, Katie had him out that whole day. For all I know, he could have met some weirdo in the bathroom that picked him up, outside the house. Right? I don't know. I don't know what happened to this kid. But what I do know is all of this arguments and carrying on, and hating on one side or the other. Oh, you got to be on Seth's side, or you got to be on Katie's side, or you got to be, I'm not on nobody's side. I'm on Sebastian's side. I'm for the victim. I'm not for Katie. I'm not for Chris. I'm not for, Seth. I'm not for none of them. Because hell, for all I know, I don't know where Seth was. He ain't no more clear to my mind than Katie and Chris. I ain't heard law enforcement come out and say, oh, Seth was definitely at work. He had nothing to do with his son's disappearance. He's in the clear. I ain't heard that. I mean, for all I know, Seth could have had somebody pick him up. Seth might not have been at work at all. He might have been there at the house. I don't know where the hell he was. I don't know. I mean, I heard that there was a code on one of the doors that Sebastian could come in and out of. Did Seth know that code? Did Sebastian share that code with his dad? Did his dad take him home, see him punch the code in? Could Seth have showed up, went in and woke him up and said, let's go somewhere, and not brought him back? I don't know. I don't know what happened to Sebastian. And nobody's been cleared by law enforcement, to be honest with you. And Seth can be out there looking all he wants to, but if law enforcement can't find your child, more than likely you're not going to find it either. Right? More than likely you ain't. Because law enforcement, I mean, everybody wants to call law enforcement. Everybody. Look at Summer's case. I mean, the TBI, FBI, hockey, they were all getting overflowed with phone calls because everybody loves to call the law. If anybody has anything, they're not going to call Seth. They're going to call 911. They're going to give it all to the police. And the police are the ones who are going to find the child, right? They're the ones going to follow up on it, find the kid. Seth is just out there. If you ask me, he's just out there with the 3-ring circus, for self-gain. He's got he did, when his son came up missing, it was on his time. He was supposed to have his son that weekend, and he didn't. He did, he stuck Katie with his son instead of I want custody of my son, but I can't even pick him up on the weekends that are mine. I'm just going to leave him with his mom, just dump him on his mother. Seth's not a good guy. He's not a good guy in my book. That's my opinion, but he's not a good guy. And I think he's exploited his son. I think he's used and exploited his son for a cash cow, if you ask me. That's my opinion. It's what I've been seeing. It's what I've been taking notes on. And, and he told Katie and Chris that, they all agreed no monies, right? They all agreed no monies. That they wanted to handle their son's case, all of them on their own, with pay for it themselves, get law enforcement involved themselves. They wanted to do everything themselves. They agreed to, that no monies other than, reward. If some people wanted to do reward fund, great. If they wanted to get flyers or billboards, great. But they agreed nobody was going to personally take money for Sebastian's case, and Seth did. Seth did it. He was just as capable of continuing working as Katie and Chris was. He could have looked for his son. He has no other kids. He has nothing else to do. He could have worked his job and looked for his child after work, before work, Hal, he walks around inside of a prison, right? He gets a ton of breaks. He could have been doing a lot of research and stuff, or contacting law enforcement on his breaks. This guy, I'm going to tell you, he's a fucking con artist, if you ask me. That's my opinion. And I think he's took a lot of people, you know, to the cleaners acting, acting like some hard, hard luck, bad luck hitting daddy, and all this BS. And I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's just what I'm seeing. It's just what I'm sitting back and watching happen. So, um, I'm not down with pretending to wacko off on a. Oh, did he do that? Did he do that, Miranda? Did he do that? I think I heard something about that. I think I heard something about that. I don't think you're the first person that told me. I mean, this was a while back, wasn't it? This was a while back when he did that. I heard somebody else saying that he acted like he was, yeah, that was pretty nasty, right? And I heard that too. I heard that too, Jane. Oh, with Uncle Taco on BJ's Live. On TikTok. Whoa. Yeah. I haven't ever had anything for any of them. I haven't had nothing for Seth, nothing for, Katie or Chris. I just don't take sides when they're all suspects. They're all suspects in this boy's disappearance. Everybody's a suspect in this boy's disappearance until law enforcement comes out and tells us otherwise. I don't care what they say. I care what law enforcement says. And I haven't heard no law enforcement come out and update us that Katie and Chris are no longer suspects in their son's case. I haven't heard law enforcement come out and say Daddy Seth that didn't pick up his son on his time that weekend is, cleared. He's not a suspect. I ain't heard none of that shit. And until I do, they all suspects, right? All of them. And I'm not, you stick them in a bag, I don't know who fall out first. Just saying. So, I'm not going to sit there and defend none of these mother freakers because, I'm too busy defending these missing kids. I'm too busy defending Summer Wells. I'm too busy defending Sebastian. I'm too busy defending Michael Vaughn. I'm too busy defending these missing kids, right? Quentin Simon. I don't ever defend no suspects in a missing child's case. I just don't do it. I don't do it. Ain't going to do it. Won't ever do it. Just not going to do it. you know Oh wow, really? He was boo-hooing about not getting his electronics back? Well, if he'd have picked up his son that weekend, he wouldn't have had to worry about getting his electronics back because his son probably still be here, right? His son probably still be here. He should have did what he did. He should have been doing, what he's supposed to do. If it's your weekend to pick up your child, go pick up your child, right? Go pick it up. I promise you. Um, in my opinion, none of them guys wanted to put up with Sebastian. That's my opinion. None of them wanted to put up with him. I think, I don't mean this. I don't mean this in a ugly way or a mean way or anything like that. Do not take me wrong when I say this. Please don't. But it would not surprise me if they don't feel relieved that he is missing. It doesn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if they did not feel relieved that he is gone. Just saying, just saying. Because none of them seem to want to put up with him. None of them. And I don't think if there wasn't nothing to be had, if there wasn't nothing for Seth to gain, if there was no, money flow or anything for him to gain, I don't think he would be doing everything he's doing. I really don't. If the money wouldn't have poured in like it did, I don't think he would be doing shit. Just saying. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And I am entitled to my opinion. Don't bring your child's case out here to YouTube. Don't bring your case, your kids' cases out here to YouTube for self gain, and then act like a bitch when somebody's talking about you, right? Telling how they feel about what they're seeing when it comes to you, right? We have our right. You brought it out here. You're putting on the shit show. And however we interpret it, that's our, whatever our opinion is, we got a very, every right to voice it, right? This is fucking America, baby. Home of the free, right? Land of the brave. We have, a lot of people died, so we have the right to freedom of speech. And I'm not going to be losing it. I'm not going to be censored. I'm not going to let people censor me. You brought it out here. You stuck it in our faces. And when we talk about it, well, suck it up, right? Suck it up. Stop crying about it. Stop crying when everybody ain't willing to kiss your ass, right? Because, for one, I'm no ass kisser. And two, I don't take sides with number one suspects. Seth is just as much a suspect as Katie and Chris. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I don't know where he was. I don't know if he has the code. I don't know if he would send someone else in there besides himself to get his son out. I don't know. Look at Andrew Halt. He was sending people down into Tennessee to get Hunter, right? Well, you say Hunter disappeared. You say, oh, he wouldn't send no one. He's all the way in New York. He wouldn't have, there's no way he could have got Hunter. He's in New York. But he had people down there trying to get him, didn't he? He had other people trying to get the boy. Even though his ass was in New York, he was having Hunter brought back there through other people. So I don't know. I have no idea. This is all my opinion. And you got to take everything, when you got a missing child, you got to take everything in consideration. You can't get on just a hate train. You can't get on a hate train. Oh, I don't like Chris and Katie. So, so they're going to be my main focus. Well, we ain't helping Sebastian then. We ain't helping Sebastian. To help Sebastian, we got to look at everything, not something. We got to look at it all, the whole big picture. And then you got to start, you got to start sitting back and listening to what these people are saying, and catch them slips and one thing and another. I mean, I haven't really got on Sebastian's case because it, Justin, I didn't want I didn't want to try to, intermix Summer's case with Sebastian's, because Sebastian's case to me was pretty cut and dry. It's pretty cut and dry. And, you know, to me, it is. So, you know, with what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've been able to, calculate up and put together, it seems pretty cut and dry to, to the scenarios of what happened to this child. But Justin, liked that case. He liked that case, and I let him, I basically stepped aside and let him, because I started to cover it, but I stepped aside, you know, and and decided to just stick with Summer because, you know, she needs everything she can get right now, because other cases are trying to overshadow her, right? Other cases are trying to overshadow hers, and we need hers, Summer to be found. And we need, we can't let Summer's case go because more and more stuff keeps coming out. We keep learning more and more things about Summer's case as we go. And and that's how kids' cases get solved, is someone stays on it and it ends up getting solved. That's the point. And if we run off to other cases, well, we're not really going to catch Fred's sister coming out and telling us some pretty bad details. Some pretty bad details about what went down in a bathroom, right? Big muddy bathroom, a child's white t-shirt all muddied up. Because this is all fitting into our scenario, right? It's all fitting into our scenario of what we believed happened to Summer, right? And we would have missed all of this. We would have, we'd have been talking about Sebastian, and we'd have missed all of this. And by not being able to grab it, put it out here where, it's going to be amplified even into law enforcement's ears and everything else, it might break something open. It might break something open in solving her case now. We don't know. We don't know. We hope. We pray. But we got to keep doing it because, new things are coming out all the time. And it's that one thing, that one thing you missed that allows, the evil beings to get away with what they done. And we can't afford to miss anything. So, I don't run from case to case to, okay, drop this one, get to that one, drop that one, get, I'm not doing it. I don't care how big Sebastian's case is. I see that you can get 6 to 1,000 people in your chat a night with Sebastian's case because it's drama. It's full drama. Everybody's crying about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's, going at it about it. And it's the big thing, the big, rave right now. But let me tell you something. It's not raving as much as it was. It's not raving as much as it was anymore. As a matter of fact, it's losing its steam. It's losing its steam out here because of all the fighting and all the turmoil and mostly the threatening of lawsuits and everything else from everybody. So it's losing its steam real fast. And if another child was to come up missing tomorrow, trust me, Sebastian's case would be left in the dust. That the new kid would be jumped on, and everybody would leave Sebastian's case behind, because it was losing steam anyway. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. The one thing I can tell you about Summer's case, her case don't lose steam. Her case actually, uh, every time you turn around, it's gaining steam. Every time you turn around, there's something coming out. Something, somebody or something new coming out that we didn't know about on Summer's case. And I think that's going to make Summer's case get solved. I really do. I think God is pulling Summer's case to the light little by little, and it's going to be solved at some point. It's going to be solved. No doubt in my mind. But it sounds like, it sounds like Summer's case is all fitting together. It sounds like it's all fitting together. What I'm trying to say is, okay, let me start here. Let me start here tonight. I'm going to start here.
Yeah, you shot in the wall.
So you lost your kids because Fred
Yes.
shot the gun through the wall.
Because Fred's sister come in and had her pistol out, and they was arguing, and Fred shot through the wall so couldn't scare her away.
Oh my Lord. And that's when you lost your kids?
Actually, the day after I lost my kids.
How old was they?
My daughters were 13 and 14, and my little boy was a year old, and my little girl was my and Fred's little girl together was 6.
Now, Laura said that Fred attacked that Billy guy that was staying at the Wells house, because that Billy guy, the old pedo, was giving Laura's daughter was up there at the Wells place smoking and giving Fred's, it was Fred's stepdaughter, Laura's real daughter, biological, but giving Laura's biological teenage daughter, illegal substances, right? Illegal substances. Well, if her daughter got took at 13 to 14 years old out of the holler, then her daughter had to be 13, 14 years old when this old Billy guy was doing that, right? She had to be, 13, 14 when Fred went down there and threatened this man up, right? Supposedly ran him out of the holler. This little girl's only 13, 14 years old. I mean, who the hell lets their 13, 14-year-old daughter leave the yard? Who lets their, it's not like you live in a community, with other kids where your kids, hang out with other kids. It's not like you live, in a neighborhood where, the kid could, walk within walking distance to somewhere to get something to eat, or, buy an ice cream or whatever. You live up in a fucking holler where there's nothing in there except weirdos. Why is your kid even out of the yard? Why is it even, out of the yard? I wouldn't let my kid out of the yard up in a place like that, let alone down the road with some old fart, doing up illegal substances. And that's really weird. That's really weird. But that's what Laura said. Oh, wow.
She was in kindergarten.
And you ain't seen your... Fred and Laura has 2 children, a little girl and a little boy, which is way younger than Laura's oldest daughter. When Laura's oldest daughter was 13, 14, Fred and Laura's kids were like 6 years old. Hold on, I'll go back. I think they only had 2, maybe 3.
Were 13 and 14, and my little boy was a year old, and my little girl was my and Fred's little girl together was 6. 13 and 14, and my little boy was
13 and 14, no way. No way, because she only had one older daughter. And then she had 2 kids by Fred. She only had one older daughter that had to be 13 or 14. And then she had the 6-year-old little girl, and I think like a 2-year-old little boy. A little 2-year-old son with Fred.
a year old.
No, a year old.
Little girl was my and Fred's little girl together was 6.
So she had a little boy that was 1 year old, a little girl that was 6 that belonged to her and Fred. And then she had the 13 or 14-year-old, the teenage daughter that she had when she met Fred. Oh, wow.
She was in kindergarten.
And you ain't seen your kids since?
I've seen my girls, but I ain't seen my little boy since he was a year old.
Oh, wow. Did your little boy go to your family, or they adopt? Yeah. He's with your family too?
But they won't let me see.
Both of the children ended up with an aunt. Both of them ended up being placed in Laura's family, with Laura's family, an aunt of Laura's. Wow. So Fred wasn't willing to straighten up, and
but actually they wouldn't let me see him while I was with Fred.
How is Fred now? I mean, what do you think Ziggy's got on her hands?
Tell him for her.
I mean,
he's not nothing like he tries to put out there. I'll just tell you that much.
Do you think that Cotton had anything to do with what happened to Summer? I mean, do you think Fred's telling the truth when it comes to Summer's
said
case?
Something to Fred, but I don't know what he said.
Cotton said something to Fred, but she don't know what he said. And then Cotton ended up dead?
Yep.
Oh. Yes, she said yep. Wow. What he said to Fred, was it about Summer's case? Do you know if it was about Summer's case or not?
Fred come in and said something that he told him something about Summer, but he didn't tell me the details. He said I didn't need to know because I didn't need to be in the middle of it.
Oh, Lord. Wow. And do you know if law enforcement...
He was protecting me.
He said he was protecting me. Listen to this. Fred said, I'm protecting you. Oh, Lord. Wow. And do you know if law enforcement...
He was protecting me.
He said he's protecting me. There you go, you guys. There you go. He's protecting Laura. No, he's protecting his own ass. Right? That's what I think. That's my opinion. I think Fred's protecting his own ass. If you ask me, that's my opinion, to be honest with you. You know, the best I can give it to you guys is, you know, Was Fred the reason Summer's hair was shaved to the scalp? Was it done so the old hair wouldn't show the sedation and or type of sedation? And Jody Sue said Andy, to ask Andy about. Fact, and this is a fact. Hair follicle tests can identify regular and long-term drug use. That's a fact. So did they try to, quit sedating Summer because they knew something's wrong? They knew, something's wrong. They weren't going to be able to get her help for it. And did they try to, not sedate her for a while? They cut all of her hair off, tried to find out how long it takes for, the stuff to get out of the body. And then what they did is they shaved her head, completely to the scalp. And now, now it ain't in her system. So the new little bit of hair that's growing back won't, even if they got it, it ain't going to test for it, right? It ain't going to test for it because they done took all the old hair off that had it in it. Is that why they did it? Because in case she was found, they didn't want the old hair to show, the sedation, how much sedated this child might have been being sedated. I'm thinking yes. This was the reason. And I think Fred may have had something to do with it because Laura said, had told us, and I played it out here. I played her words out right here on this panel. You guys heard it, where she said, that her daughter had CPS up in the house, and she kept saying, how they kept trying to take the hair from the kids, wanting the hair from the kids, right? We heard it. They wanted to, and Cam and Allie's another case where they wanted hair from the kids, right? That's what they do. And, if something happened to where they did happen to find, Summer, that old hair could possibly still be tested. It's because it says that it could, even long term, it could be tested and they could find out that, she had been being sedated a lot before she ever passed away, right? So her hair would have told a story within itself. And I think that's why, she was shaved the way she was. But, you could tell once they shaved her head, she was going downhill. You could tell that she wasn't looking well, right? She was not looking well at all. She was really going downhill, and she's going downhill fast. So, as in her health wasn't looking good. And this makes me, suspect that this is why they did this. Like I said, what happened to Summer, everything points to Summer's case being pre-planned ahead of time, carried out on June 15th, 2021. Don Wells changing up his vehicle, firing his co-worker to blame it on. This all lets us know that Summer Wells' case was, premeditated and carried out June 15th, 2021. And obviously they had a lot to hide in order to shave her head completely bald before they carried out whatever they was carrying out on June 15th, 2021, right? That's my opinion. Because that's the way it's, it's lining up. That's the way it's lining up. And I think Fred might have had something to do with it because, his Laura's daughter had already, already been through the stuff with children's services, right? And they knew about it. And Fred always said that, he always, advised Donald. He would tell Donald what he would do, right? What he would do if he was in the fix that Donald was in. And I think that's one of the things, he would have done, right? He would have done because he's already went through it and heard about it. So, just saying. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. You know, and also, you know, now we're finding out. Now we're finding out that there was a white shirt in the bathroom. There was a muddy mess in the bathroom, people. Not just a white shirt. There was a muddy freaking mess in that bathroom. Like someone had somebody that had been somewhere super muddy in that bathroom. Now, I think we all know. I think we already know why people take people to the bathroom, right? I think we already know why, because of the running water, that's in there, right? I mean, how many times have people been, put in bathtubs and really bad stuff goes on in order to dispose of them, right? I think we just heard about that in the other little girl's case, right? Where the guy was carrying her around in his in a freaking satchel, right? He was carrying her around in a freaking satchel, packing her around. So, it's terrible. It's terrible. But that's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. But get this. Here's the weird thing. The sisters went in there and found this stuff, right? After Fred goes to jail. They go in this house. They find all these things, after Fred gets arrested. Now, let us remember that Laura was in jail too. And Laura's about to get out of jail. She's doing 30 days. When Fred goes in, right? Laura's was doing 30 days. She's coming out. Now, here's the thing. These sisters go down there to this house and they find all this stuff. They find these clothes that, is by like a fire pit or something, getting ready to be supposedly, disposed of. They find a wet bag of clothes, right? A big wet bag of clothes, as if someone's trying to cover up evidence. I'd say the wet clothes were probably the clothes that had been, worn, muddy clothes that have been worn to, to retrieve whatever they retrieved in that white t-shirt and brought to the bathroom. The clothes, I think, in the, the ones that were getting ready to be disposed of, right, be put on a grill and done away with. Well, I think those might have been clothes that could have had, some things in them that wouldn't come out, that wouldn't wash out or wouldn't come out of the clothes. And they felt there was going to have to destroy them. A muddy white t-shirt in the bathroom, that kind of, follows along with cotton, if you ask me. Let's go back to June 15th when Grandis, Candace, and Allison, were besties. And Candace was, besties with Allison's son, who was waiting up early in the morning when he didn't have to go to school or nothing. It was, summer break, right? Summer break. And Allison's house runs all night, right? Lights on, people on the porch getting crazy. I mean, they're out there hollering, Sandra, at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, these people, these people don't sleep um, until, you're almost getting up when they go to bed. So what is this boy doing? What is this boy doing up, bushy tailed, 9 o'clock in the morning, waiting for Candace to call, or to text him up and pick him up? I think that was you know planned as well. I think that was planned as well, because Hunter lied. He said, I haven't been up to Candace and Don's house, right? I haven't been in their house for almost a year, since the Jose fight. But yet we see Hunter right behind Summer after Summer's hair was cut off, which would have been about 6 weeks before. 6 weeks before she came up missing. So he lied. Why would he lie? Why would he not want to place himself? We clearly saw the picture. Why would he not want to place himself on 110 Ben Hill Road? 6 weeks. Um, you know, 6 weeks before she comes up missing, right? Why would he not want to do that? Because he wants to distance himself. He wants to distance himself away from, June 15th, 2021. He wants to distance himself away from Candace and Grandis and them. And that's what all these people seem to be wanting to do. Hey, she's yay, my best, beautiful, beautiful, darling friend ever. Much love. Um, yeah, PG, did you call? I was hollering Sandra. But yeah, absolutely, I'm going to tell you, Candace has all the clothes from the pond in a box. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. I'm going to show that to you tonight. But after they get done, at the horse pond, and Hunter plainly, Summer ends up right here on the milk jugs. And I'm going to tell you, that's stagery if I've ever seen it. That is stagery if I've ever seen it. And we covered this. We covered the fact that Hunter said that, he moved those boxes to the back so he could get in and sit down from the passenger side and back of Grandma. These boxes, when they got to Allison's house, and we heard Allison say when they dropped Summer off, not Hunter, but Summer was cleaned up and dressed at Allison's, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't think Summer is with us on these milk jugs. I think she was staged. On those milk jugs, to be honest with you. I think this baby done, she done went on the other side of glory, right? I think she already went to the other side of Jordan, you guys, to be honest with you. But, that's my opinion. And I'm going to tell you, I think that when Candace got home, she went up on the hill, dropped Grandis off, gave the boys time to, see their sister in the car like this, thinking that she, she's just asleep. She's going to get up and be in. And I think Candace made it like Summer did get up. Summer did, come in, and all the bull crap. And I think those boys were so busy with their gaming and trying to get something to eat and, scattering around. I think they didn't know where their sister was or what was going on with their sister. And I think Candace gaslighted the hell out of those boys. I think she went back, when she supposedly went to talk to Grandma. I think that's when she might have even took this child out of the car and into the house and back out. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I do know that she's supposed to went out and talk to Granny. And I think that, she, I think the boys thought that Summer was over in the other room, over in the other room playing with her toys. And I think Candace, led them on to believe that. And I think Candace really did go back over and say, Summer, you want to help plant stuff with Grant, and I don't know if Summer was in there and she brought her back out or if she was still in the car and Candace was just acting. I say she's probably just acting and leading the boys to believe that Summer had been up in the house. And then I think she put her in the car, and I truly believe that she went down to Fred's house because Fred and Laura, because she was caught by Chad Arnold at Fred's house about we know now it was about 3:45. And Fred and Laura had just left when Chad came down and caught Candace there, and there was no Summer in the car. So I truly believe that is where Summer got out of the vehicle, was at Fred's, to be honest. I think that's where she, vanished, where she vanished at, as you would say. And Candace went back, she had to follow Chad out of there because she told Chad her daughter's missing and she had to act like she's looking for her. So she follows Chad out onto Beach Creek. But then she comes back and goes back up on the hill, and law enforcement knows that she came out, that she was out there around this time. They told her she was, and she denied it. She went back up on that hill, and that's when she, they cleaned up whatever they was going to clean up, do whatever they was going to do, and then they waited. What they did is they waited, like they was planting flowers and washing hands and getting candy, and none of this shit was going on. And I think her and Grandis were, like probably fucking ready to crap themselves, right? Doing all of this. Their adrenaline probably was way up. And I think that, finally around 5:55, 6 o'clock, Candace, went in the house saying, I told you boys to watch your sister. I sent her up in here. Where is she? And they're like, oh, we don't know. Oh, shit. Maybe in the basement. And she goes down the basement, and she didn't know if the door was locked or not because she didn't check it. She didn't have to check it. She comes back up, and she wanted to test the boys. What did you know? Did you look out? Did you, did you see anything? Did you hear any of what has been going on? How much do you know? And she questions them and finds out they don't know anything. That they have been, entertained with what they was doing the whole time and wasn't paying attention to nothing. And she's like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. Now she says, we can't find your sister, and she starts her bullshit up, right? Her bullshit of abduction. Right away starts the bullshit of abduction up. And that's how they was able to tell law enforcement Summer wasn't out there in the woods. They knew she wasn't, right? That's how they told. You can't tell somebody where someone isn't unless you know where they are. And if you know where they are, then they couldn't have got abducted because you knew where they, you knew what happened. So they couldn't have been abducted as well. And there's no signs of abduction. And like, the sheriff said, Pruitt, we did extra deep dive searches. We came back in there and we went everywhere. And if she'd have been there barefooted out in that woods, we would have found her. We'd have found something. But we found nothing. So, wandering off the table, abduction off the table. Abduction was off the table as soon as Candace and Grandis and Donald was telling people they knew Summer wasn't in the woods. Well, they had to know where she was if they knew she wasn't there. So abduction was off the table right then and there. And being in the woods, was out of the question as well. It was out of the question. They just had to check that in case that's where they put her. So, I think that's more or less what they was doing. It's just seeing if this is where you put her. But I think, let's think of the last place Candace was where Summer wasn't. We got a video 10 minutes from about 10 minutes down the road from Ben Hill. 10 minutes, we got a video. That's 10 minutes from 110 Ben Hill Road. Now, Summer's in the back of the car. Right there you see her. Their little stunt video, to show she was with them close to home. And, okay, that's good. Because now we got a time frame. They're 10 minutes away. So she had to come on into Ben Hill. She had to let Grandma out. She couldn't have went anywhere else. They could not have went nowhere else because Chad Arnold, they were 10 minutes away from Ben Hill Road, which would have meant they were there about around between 3:15 and 3:20. They come into Ben Hill Road around probably about 3:25 to 3:30. Grandma's out of the vehicle and Summer's out of the vehicle at 3:45 when Chad Arnold comes in. And the only people that just left was Fred and Laura. And there's no Summer, no Grandis in the car. And Grandis is up on the hill, but Summer's disappeared. Where else would Candace have had time to dispose of Summer? Where else would she have had time? She would have had time to go nowhere else. I mean, and then, Cotton somehow plays in this, right? Cotton somehow plays in this, and Cotton tells some of his family members that he was at Fred's house, and Fred supposedly had Summer's, body part in a box. Body part in a box. Well, wouldn't that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. I didn't want to believe that. I thought, what? I don't even want to hear stuff like this, let alone believe it, right? I didn't want to believe it. That's really hard. That's really hard for people who love this little girl out here to endure. It's hard, it's something I don't even want to fucking think about. But I have to think about it. I have to think about it because now I know there's a muddy white little girl's t-shirt in a bathroom where a bathtub or shower is and where people do this kind of stuff at, right? I have to think about that. And why would there be all kinds of mud in his bathroom? Why would there be a little girl's t-shirt in his bathroom? They don't have no kids. So what child was it? What child was it? There's only one child it could be. And that's Summer. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. It has to be her. What other child would be muddy? What other child would that t-shirt belong to? What other child's missing? That's my opinion. And Ziggy can sit over there all she wants. I'm going to tell you right now, Ziggy can sit over there all she wants to, and she can talk all the shit she wants to.
A clothing was found days after Summer went missing, right? I cannot. Haven't listened to even.
Not days after Summer went missing, Ziggy. Don't even go there. It was days after your old boy went to jail. It was days after your old boy went to jail. A muddy ass bathroom. It was days it wasn't too long after Cotton was found over there in Laurel Run Park. And from what we understand, Laura and Fred was smoking up his cigarettes, right? And his wad of money was gone. And he seemed to have told a couple of people really close to him about some shit he saw on Fred's property that belonged to Summer in a box. So, it's kind of funny that this guy, has all of this stuff and he ends up deceased. And you're sitting there, trying to spin a narrative that isn't there. Why don't you let Fred? Where's Fred, Ziggy? Where is Fred? Fred lived this history. He lived it. This is his history to tell, not yours to fucking change. You're trying to change the history. That's what your ass is doing. You let Fred talk. We don't want to hear about you. You wasn't there. Why isn't Fred talking for himself? Why is he hiding behind your ass? Why is he hiding behind you, letting you trying to change up history, what isn't so? He was there. He was living it. Let him talk for himself. Where the fuck are you, Fred? Huh? What little girl's t-shirt is that? What was all the mud doing in that bathroom? Why did Cotton say that you got Summer's head in a box? Why don't you explain all of this, Fred? Where's your cowardly fucking ass at? Where are you at? Your own sister came out and told that she witnessed that mud. She witnessed that t-shirt. And Cotton told a couple close people that you had not to tell it. And he was afraid because he knew that you had Summer's head in a box. Yeah. And he ends up unalived. And it seems like that bathroom ends up all muddy with a little girl's t-shirt in it. A little girl's white shirt. And that sounds about right. And I'll tell you why it sounds about right. Summer's bathing suit, June the 15th, 2021. Her bathing suit in the box. In Candace's little fucking box that she was hiding. And not letting no one know she had, right? She hid these clothes from June 15th, 2021. There's the bathing suit. And you could tell that sucker's been bleached. That freaking bathing suit has been bleached up and cleaned extra good. There's Summer's jacket, y'all. Look at it. Take a good look at her jacket in Mommy's box. Her jacket's in Mommy's box. Her bathing suit's in Mommy's box, right? The bathing suit. Let's move on. Come on, Candace. Show us, hon. You want to show everybody, you and Miss Kathy that didn't turn the box over. Yeah, there's Candace, and there's the jacket, the bathing suit. Look how clean that is, you guys. Look how clean it is. It'd be in muddy water, right? Real clean. There's the little shirt. That's even the shirt that Summer supposedly was wearing underneath the jacket. So Candace didn't only have her jacket. She didn't only have her shirt. She didn't only have, the bathing suit. She had everything. She had everything except them gray pants. Them gray shorts is the only damn thing she didn't have. The only thing she wasn't hiding from law enforcement. She didn't bother to give none of these clothes. All of this stuff Summer had on June 15, 2021. But Candace did not hand law enforcement not one damn item for the search dogs to find Summer. Why? Because Candace didn't want Summer found. If you agree with that, please put a 1 in the chat. Because that is my opinion. I will keep it. Any mother that wanted her child found is going to find something her child was wearing that day or that day before. You're going to go get the nightgown your daughter took off that morning if you don't have the clothes, right? Exactly. She did not want her child found. She did not want her child found. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I bet you 10 to fucking 1 I'm right. She had all the stuff, and gave law enforcement none of it. Look at her. Does she look like the grieving mother of a missing child? No. She looks like an insane fucking bitch, if you ask me. Someone damn capable of doing whatever happened to this little girl. Absolutely. Why? Because she's a weirdo. She's jealous of every damn body. She was even jealous of Summer, and I truly believe that. That's my opinion too. Look at her. She just sitting there. Wanting all this attention. How fucking evil are you? How fucking evil are you? She wouldn't have had that big ass. She would have had that big ass out there if it wasn't for that Cash App and those freaking PayPals and Venmos and all the freaking gift cards and all the stuff that this sinister fucking mother had been getting by a bunch of people that didn't know what they were supporting, right? Oh, they know not what they done. They sure didn't. They didn't know the evil they were supporting when they were supporting them fucks, right? Couldn't tell them either. You couldn't tell them. How you think they're going to feel? How you think them people's going to feel that sent them gift cards? How you think they're going to feel, the ones that supported these evil bastards, when they find out, when the truth comes to light and they find out that they supported pure freaking evilness? How you think they're going to feel then? I bet you they ain't going to tell nobody. I bet they ain't going to tell no damn body they supported that shit. No. Then they're going to lie. I didn't support them. I didn't ever support them. I knew they were guilty. Bullshit. I'm going to tell you something. There was a lot of people supporting her. A lot of people. There still is. There's still a bunch of turd pop suckers. There's still a whole bunch of turd pop suckers. Even though they know how fucking evil these people are, they're still sitting there sucking on that turd pop, right? Still doing it. I can't stand to look at the bitch, to be honest with you. I can't stand to look at her. I cannot stand to look at her. I cannot stand to look at Don Wells, knowing that he thought it was, funny, that he thought it was funny to tell how Summer was going to come up missing, that he knew it beforehand. Basically, he was confessing, that they planned all that shit for some reason. But he says, I had a dream so he could get out of it, right? He had a vision. A That's So Raven moment, right? That So Raven moment fell upon him. And he thought it was funny to confess in that way, so it wouldn't get him put in prison. Right? I knew she's going to, I just knew she's going to disappear. Do you see that picture of me holding her? Yeah, 18 days before she disappeared. I knew right then and there. I was saying, I'm sorry, Summer. I'm sorry. I love you, Summer. I'm sorry. I bet you fucking are. I bet you are. Used and abused that child to the point something happened that you knew that you have no alternative but to do what was going to be done, or your ass is going to prison, right? So that's the out you took, cowardly ass piece of shit. God will have a field day with you. God will have a field day with you, Don Wells. Trust and believe that. The Bible tells you it's better to hang a millstone around your neck and walk into the sea than to hurt a child. Don Wells better remember that one, and Candace along with him, and old Granny, right? And the way it's looking, Fred might want to remember that too. And Hunter, right? And Hunter. And I'm going to tell you, if Allison allows Summer to be brought into her house to protect her son, if she allows Summer to be carried in there and dressed and everything and placed upon those milk jugs to protect her son, well, where do you think Allison is right now? Just saying. Where do you really think she is? I don't think I'd want to leave this world. I don't think I'd want to leave this world protecting somebody evil enough to hurt a child. I wouldn't want to leave this world not telling what I knew to help a little girl to be found, brought home, and justice served. I wouldn't want to leave this world not doing what was righteous in the sight of God, because I wouldn't want to leave this world and spend eternity in hell, right? For trying to cover up for a bunch of evil fucks that didn't deserve my soul being put in Hades for. Just saying. I'm not judging nobody. I ain't allowed to judge anyone. But I am allowed to call out the facts. You know, it just makes perfect sense, man. If you die doing evil and covering up evil, then you probably ain't going to be going to heaven, right? It's just common sense. It's like 2 + 2 is 4. You know, if it's all if it's all adding up to Hades, it probably is Hades. Just saying. You know, I just wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to be part of that. I wouldn't want to be part of that. But anyway, you seen all the clothes. Candace had them. So that tells us Summer was wearing something else. A white t-shirt? Probably. And where was that white t-shirt? In Fred Hill's bathroom on a floor packed with mud. So if it's all packed with mud, then where did he pull all of this out of that it would be packed with mud? Gotta wonder about that. Right? Gotta wonder about that one. All I could think of is, you know, the only thing that I can think of is cotton. Cotton must have, you know, maybe Fred had cotton put Summer somewhere, and the night that's what he was doing. Maybe, you know, Cotton, I heard Cotton knew that Laurel Run Park inside out. I heard he'd been exploring that place for years and years and years, since he's just a little guy, exploring that whole place. And he probably knew, you know, every hiding place in there. And maybe that's what he was doing that night. Maybe he was, you know, he was showing Fred. Maybe Fred was wanting to know what he did and where he took it. And it sounds like Fred may have, that they may have retrieved it that night. If there's mud all over the floor after Cotton comes up, and Fred ends up in jail, then it sounds like, Cotton may have led them to retrieve the muddiness in a white t-shirt. Right? I don't know. All I know is Fred knew a whole lot about Cotton's, death that no one else did. He knew so much about Cotton's death that law enforcement gave him lie detectors test that he did not pass. You guys, right? He didn't pass it. So, you tell me. And you heard Laura say that Fred and Cotton was having conversation about Summer Moon Utah wells. And he was protecting Laura. He was protecting her. Right? He's protecting Laura. It sounds to me like they had a muddy child in that bathroom doing something that needed water, That's as good as I can say it. If the sister is telling the truth, if she's telling the truth, and I think she is because she reported it to law enforcement. And another reason I believe she's telling the truth is because
seriously, have not listened to. I'm just getting it through you guys because it's easier to listen to it that way. I do want to listen to her just a little bit so I can hear Karen's voice and make sure I've never been contacted before by her in the past, because I kind of now, like I said, I'm very nervous that she is one of the people that was hanging out at the wells early.
I know, Ziggy. The only one hanging out at the wells was Fred and Laura. Don was down at Fred's house. He wasn't at Fred's sister's house the night Summer was disappeared. He was at Fred's house. Right? He was hanging at Fred's house all the time, Ziggy. He wasn't hanging at Fred's sister's house. That's bullshit. Just stop it.
On. Right, and then we're going to just make up crazy stuff like, oh, there's this blood. Like, that's why the cops were laughing at you, Karen.
I know cops were laughing at Karen. Matter of fact, I heard back when they came up there. That they actually took this stuff into consideration. They took it into evidence. So, no, Ziggy.
You asked one of your other family members, right? Why the cops laugh at you when you call in these supposed tips that you set up? They just laugh at you.
I don't think no cops are laughing at this lady, and I don't think, Ziggy, you don't know no one in this family but Fred. So the only one that could be telling you that she's saying, why does the cops laugh at me, is Fred. And we all know he's a compulsive fucking liar. A obsessive compulsive liar. Right? We all know this. We know that he doesn't do nothing but lie. So the only ones getting laughed at is you. You are the one getting laughed at. Everybody out here is laughing at you, Ziggy. You're not looking good. You're not looking good on the YouTube streets. You're not looking good at all. They're laughing at you because you went to Tennessee and you got with a freaking criminal-minded human being. Even if Summer's case wasn't, even if there was no Summer's case, this guy ain't someone you bring home. He's not someone you bring home. He's not someone you marry up and bring home. You don't stand outside a prison gate and find yourself a husband. That's bullshit. That is nowhere to be finding a husband. A lot of women find men in bars, and it usually don't work out. It usually don't work out. You find your man in the bar, it usually don't work out. But outside the prison fucking gate, really? Seriously? Yeah, and you got a child in your home? But this guy's a criminal without Summer's case. But with Summer's case, that's even worse. That's even worse. Because there's a 5-year-old child involved. You got a child. You don't go down there bringing number one suspects, back to your home. Especially when the case has not been solved and no one has been, ruled out from doing something sinister to this little girl. And not only that, but you got this convict laying around your house, and you got a 16-year-old daughter in there that I hear is getting liquored up. What the fuck? What the fuck? I just don't know. I don't know. I have, don't sound safe to me, you guys. Don't sound safe to me.
And yeah, gave and told Fred that you're trying to set him up. Does it not freaking register up there? Does it not? You're gonna try to sit there and say a clothing was found days after Summer went missing, right?
No. Days after your old boy went to jail. When the sisters were up there cleaning the place up. Well, Fred's in jail because it is getting, it's getting foreclosed on. Closed on, Ziggy. And they have to go there to get the shit out, to clean it up. That's when. And then Laura goes back, and some people are even saying that you went down there and destroyed stuff. Went down there and got things and destroyed things during the time Fred was in jail. They say that you was down there messing around with things as well. So, why are we listening to you? You don't care about Summer. You didn't ever care about Summer. What you cared about, and you proved that. You proved you didn't care about Summer when I came up on your panel trying to get out important information, and you was running a shit show. You didn't care about important information for Summer. You cared about your shit show and your Cash Apps and your Venmos and your fucking super stickers and all your bullshit. You cared about all of your clicks, likes, and your views, Ziggy. You didn't care about this little girl. You haven't ever cared about this little girl. You're a fucking Benny Keys. You use these kids to just get self-gain. That's what you do. You don't care about them. You marry up the freaking number one fucking suspects. Who you going to go marry next? Chris? You going to go marry Chris in the Sebastian's case? Maybe you can go marry that weirdo that was keeping Elijah Vu. Right? The boyfriend that was teaching him how to be a man. Maybe you'll go marry that guy. Right? Because that's about your fucking speed.
Just randomly popped up and you called law enforcement. Okay, the only
Oh, it just randomly popped. Where's Fred? Where's Fred, Ziggy? Why ain't Fred running his mouth instead of you? Why isn't Fred? He's hiding behind you like a girl. I heard that he likes to wear girls' clothing too. Asked him who was that lingerie for. Him? Was he up there parading around in lingerie? Because I heard that shit, that it didn't belong to Laura. So it obviously, what was going on with that? What was going on with that lingerie? I'd like to know how big that lingerie was. I'd like to know how big it was because I remember Jody Sue saying someone was stealing her underclothes. Right? I heard that somebody was stealing her underclothes, peeking in the windows. Was that Fred? Was that Fred up there stealing people's? Maybe was it Candace? Was it Candace's lingerie? Not that I don't think she has any. I mean, every time I look at her, every time I look at her, she's wearing the same motherfucking clothes for years at a time. I think 3 years, and she's still wearing the same clothes. We saw her in the first day, so now it can't be hers. Can't be hers because I ain't never seen her took off the shit she's got on. But maybe it's Jody Sue's. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that wasn't Laura in the car with I know what you're talking about. That wasn't Laura in the car. I mean, I could compare it. What I'll do is I'll take Laura's voice and the one in the car and play it. I'll play it out tomorrow. Tomorrow night. I'll put it in content on tomorrow and I'll play it out for you. But I don't think it is. I think that was Allison's voice. I think it was Allison's voice in that car. To be honest with you, I think that was Allison. I don't think that was, it didn't sound like Grandis. It sounded like Allison, if you ask me. It sounded too young to be Grandis. That's what I thought. I thought, too old to be true, but too young to be, to be Grandis. That was my take. I thought it sounded like Allie. To be honest with you, that's what I thought. But I'll let you, yeah, I'll get Laura's voice and the person in the car's voice, and you guys can hear both. And then I'll bring I think I already got Allison's and Grandis's and a couple other people. So I'll bring it back in tomorrow night. You guys can hear it. We'll go over it again. Yeah. No problem.
It's the only time something like that happened was months after Summer went missing, and your ass is the one that put it there and then called law enforcement to try.
Really? Why the fuck would this woman? Why the hell would this woman go up there? Why would this woman go up there and why would she go up there and carry a bag of mud? Why would she carry a bag of mud in the fucking bathroom? Why would this woman go up there when her and her sister need to clean it up because it's getting, it's getting ready to be foreclosed on. And they want to clean it up so that whatever it sells for, they can get, they can get the extra back. Say the banks owe 20 grand and they get 60. Well, they got 40 bucks or 40,000 coming to them, right? They got 40 grand coming back to them. The bank takes what's theirs and they send the owner. They send the owner the rest of the money. So that's $40,000. They was up there, in the best interest of themselves when it comes to that place getting foreclosed on and how much they could possibly reap when it does sell. Now, why the hell would she want to spread mud all over the fucking bathroom and then put a little girl's t-shirt in there and all this stuff when she's going to have to clean it all back up? Because that ain't even why she's there. She's not even there to do this. She's there to clean that mud and that t-shirt and everything up so they can get more money when the place sells. Ziggy, you ain't making no sense. You are not making no sense. This woman ain't going to be there doing what you're trying to say. She's not there looking for fucking attention like you. She's there to do a job, and she was getting it done. And she called out what she found while she was there, which was very damn suspicious, and I think it is too. So shut the fuck up and quit trying to make this woman look good because your ass is looking bad laying around with some freaking #1 suspect from Ben Hill Road. Shut up. Everybody's freaking tired of you. Should have been tired of you when you took them old ladies to the cleaners and didn't pay them back. Should have been tired of you when we heard that one of these old ladies passed away without ever getting her money back from you. Shut up. That's what you need to do, because I'm sick of your fucking shit.
Try to pin it on Fred, right? Like, you just come up, you're just stupid, dude. You're going to get yourself in so much trouble. Do you not understand that? Why are you digging this grave for yourself?
What a bitch, right? What a bitch. And this woman ain't digging shit. She ain't digging shit. What she's doing is calling out the truth, and you don't like it. That's one thing I know you hate, Ziggy. It's one thing you hate is an honest person. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Ziggy is evil as fucking hell, you guys. She's evil as fucking hell. She's evil as evil gets. Let me tell you that now. And I knew that early on. I knew that early on. I seen it first fucking hand. I seen it behind the scenes. I know. Let me tell you something. I know Ziggy like I know the back of my fucking hand. I know her. And she's evil as hell. Just warning you up. She's evil as hell. That's the shit right there you flee from. You flee from it. Stay away from it. Rebuke it in the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ. Because that bitch right there, man, I'm going to tell you, she's one big ass demon. Leave it be. Leave it be. She's got like, she is fucking evil. And she is like an evil you don't want nothing to do with. Trust me. Trust me. Just saying. I'm going to tell you something. She's a fucking con. If I've ever seen one, she conned them old ladies, and that was horrible. That was horrible. You don't do shit like that. You don't do it. I'm going to tell you, this is a bitch that, has showed everybody multiple times how fucking evil she is. And people really need to start taking heed to it. They need to start taking heed to it and stop supporting that shit. Stop supporting it. Because I'm going to tell you something. The only thing that kind of evil will do when you're supporting it is drag you to hell with it. It will drag you to hell with it. That's all I can say. And that's why she didn't ever like me. She didn't like me because I am honest. I am truthful. Jody Sue likes to call PG the salt of the earth. You bet your ass I am. Because I ain't going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything that's going to end up my soul in hell. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not taking nobody to the cleaners. I'm not going to lie to nobody. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, you guys. No amount of money. Gain the whole world and lose your soul, you ain't gained a damn thing. Let me tell you that right now. You ain't gained shit. There's no amount of money on the face of this earth worth your soul ending up in hell. They ain't nothing. Nothing worth that. Ziggy's evil. That's all, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm not, I'm not here. I'm not here, to do anything except tell the truth for these missing children. And I will bluntly tell it. And I don't care. These children, these children need the truth. They need the truth to be told for them. They ain't nothing going to find these kids, bring them home, or get justice for them, except the truth. And I will not tell anything but it, and I will not put up with anything but the truth. It's just how it is. I don't give a fuck if I make $1 or not. I don't give a damn. I don't care. And I made that plain from day one. I don't care. It doesn't matter to PG. God has kept this channel running for 3 years. 3 years. And he'll keep it running for 3 more if he wants to. And I'm going to tell you something. This channel right here spends a lot more money being ran than any other channel. And I know that. I know it. How do I know it? Because I know they're not buying apps, and I know they're not using all the things that need to be used. I know they ain't paying for the best of everything. Them broke ass motherfuckers are using nothing. They're using a bunch of free shit. That's what they're doing. That's why half of them can't bring nobody up on panel. They can't bring nobody up. Oh, it's open panel here. They don't bring anybody up because they can't. It's mother freaking free. And they ain't showing you no content. They ain't showing you no content that they're working on putting together. No, they just get up there and run their fucking sut. They just run their fucking sut. That's all they do. You just get to look at them. Nothing else. And half of them don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they make a mockery out of these kids' cases, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And then they get with these number 1 fucking suspects, and they lie. They lie to cover that number 1 suspect's ass because they're getting down. They're getting the fucking weenie in the bun, right? That's what it is. I was about to say something a lot worse, but you don't want to hear it. I'm going to tell you something. You want to hear the truth? You want to hear the truth? Come to this channel, because that's what you're going to hear. And I'm going to tell you something. I open this live all the time, and I'll tell you why. I open it up because I know when, the Bible plainly tells me, Jesus said, you will be prosecuted for my name's sake. You will be prosecuted. Your righteousness will be prosecuted for my name's sake. When you're not willing to be evil, you will be prosecuted. You will have all kinds of problems. You will not usually be supported. And that's why I come here, because you know what? This channel don't really get supported. It really don't. And I know I'm doing something right when it ain't. I know I'm doing something right. And that right there is pay for me enough. When I leave here at night, that was pay enough to know I am doing righteousness. Because I watch evil. I watch evil get supported. I watch that evil get supported. And I know it's evil. And that's okay with me. That's okay with me. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't want that kind of support. I don't want it. I'm not willing to scoop to that level to get support. Hell to the no. Don't want it. Don't need it. I'll leave it alone. I come out here for these kids. I come out here to do righteous for these kids, and I will not do anything any less than that. Love me or hate me, it don't matter. I'm here for these children. And I do not like evilness. I don't like it. And I'll tell you right now, I will stand against it. I ain't afraid to put my suit of armor on. I'm not afraid to stick my steel-toe boots on, and I'm not afraid to tell evil where it can get the fuck off at. I tell you that right now. Why? Because I'm going to tell you what, God goes before me, Jesus goes with me, and there's angels watching over me. And that's all I need. Been doing it as long as I can remember. And I praise God that is still doing it to this day. And will continue. Because that's how I live. And I'm going to continue to live like that too. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not supporting some evil bitch that just married up. Some evil bastard off of Ben Hill Road that had a muddy ass bathroom with a little girl's t-shirt in it. And we got a 5-year-old missing. And the last place this 5-year-old's mommy was seen was at his fucking house between 3:30 and 4:45 when Chad Arnold came in there and busted her ass. And she said Summer's already missing. Well, honey, it was way too early for Summer to be missing. Because Summer didn't come up missing till 6:55 to 6:05. Dom wasn't even called till 6:09. Law enforcement wasn't called till 6:30. Come on. And Jody Sue's got her ass in it somewhere too, because she made up a false fake ass scream that Candace felt she could tell her to change. But since law enforcement didn't believe it the first time, she wasn't about to go for round two with them, right? Because then they knew some shit was up. All of a sudden, she's going to change the fucking scream to fit the narrative? Come on. These are some amateur-ass criminals up in there. Amateurs. Because if they wasn't amateurs, Don Wells would have continued driving his white truck. He'd have continued driving his white truck. Firing a co-worker, okay. I mean, you could fire, it could be a coincidence you fired a co-worker. But you should have kept driving your white truck, dumbass. Changing up your fucking car in order for Starlink to be your, alibi. And firing your coworker on top of it to blame it on. Well, shit. That done let us know the story. Right? That done told us what we needed to know. Stupid ass. And then Jody Sue lying about the scream and Candace trying to get her to change it. Hell, that tells us there's more people involved than Candace, Donald, and Grandis. Right? Then Jody Sue flying out here when Andy puts a ring on another thing and didn't ever bother to put one on her. You go over there and you ask him what exactly he was giving them kids, giving to Candace to sedate those little girls. And I don't mean just Summer. There was a lot of little girls. Well, that lets us know, why she made up the scream now, right? She needed to protect her asses. That's why Summer's hair got cut too. These people's all telling on themselves. They're amateurs. They're idiots. And why the hell they ain't been arrested, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. The law must have really changed since the last time I checked. Right? Because the last time I checked, if they had this much evidence, they should have been able to prosecute. Right? That's all I got to say. I don't know. Just saying, you guys, this is a mess. It's a mess. And I don't care what Ziggy ever has to say again. I don't care what he ever has to say again. I will not ever bother to watch her or anything else, support her in any way or anything else at all. I don't support evil. I don't need to hear anything else from Fred Hill. I don't need to hear another damn thing out of his mouth. I heard what his sister said. I heard what his sister said. That's all I needed to hear. And I'm going to tell you guys something else. I called a relative of Fred Hill's back a while ago. I didn't ever want to bring, I didn't really want to bring it up or anything. They didn't want brought up. They didn't want brought up, but I did. I talked to a relative and they told me they have nothing to do with him. Nothing at all. I'm not going to mention who it was because they don't want me to. But let me tell you, I could tell they, I could tell how bad he was just by talking to them. I could tell. I mean, they were shook. They were, just to think about him shook them. And anytime you talk to someone that gets shook, they get shook like that, you don't have to really know anything else. That's what I'm saying. Has anyone ever called you up and mentioned someone that you just did not fucking want to hear about? That like call you up and mention someone like that bothers you, that you don't want, that you definitely don't want to see. You definitely do not want to see them. That's it. Put a one in the chat. If somebody's called you up to mention an abuser or someone, somebody dark that you don't, somebody dark you didn't ever want to meet or see again. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that's exactly the way this conversation went. And, I didn't have nothing for Fred after that. Nothing. Because this person shouldn't have ever felt like that. This person should not have ever felt like that. It was sad. It was absolutely sad. And it was really sad. But anyway, you guys, listen. As far as Fred Hill goes, this right here is what I think about Fred Hill. Right there. Take a good look at it. Right there. That's what I think. That's what I think of Fred Hill. Right? I think that's a good picture of what summer was feeling like. I think that's a good picture of what little Summer was feeling like. Right? Right there. Fucking wet bandits. The wet bandits. Mud all over the bathroom. Freaking muddy t-shirt. Right? Muddy t-shirt. Wet clothes. Yeah. Absolutely. There's your Fred Hill right there. There's Fred Hill, his old ringer fucking washer, right? his old ringer ass washer he had probably sitting outside, with 3 extension cords running to somebody else's house so he could wash some clothes. They was probably still wet because they was too lazy to hang up a line, right? To dry them on. I don't know. That's freaking Fred Hill. That's the lifestyle of old Freddie boy, And then, put a 1 in the chat if you remember him saying he went up on Ben Hill Road and was looking in the fucking window at the kids. Remember that? Remember he said he went up on Ben Hill Road and he was peeking in the windows, looking at the kids sleeping on a mattress? Yeah, he said that. He said he went up there to Don's house, peeking in the window. It's funny, Jody Sue seen somebody peeking in the window, right? I mean, it sounds like it might have been Fred. Fred seems to be peeking in the windows, right? Right. Look. Picture taken. At Christmas time, there's a picture taken. Who's in the window? Poor little Summer trying to decorate the tree, and look who's in the window. Freaking Fred. Yeah. It's on film right here, Fred. Look. It's you in the window. We know you when we see you. Ziggy will come out and say, that ain't Fred in that window. That's not Fred. That's somebody who looks like him. Fred's got a twin. He's got a twin, and that's his twin in the window. Right? Yeah, bullshit. I'm going to tell you. These people, I promise you, man, it often keeps me awake at night. Trying to figure out, what makes these people's motherfucking brains tick, right? I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with them? What the hell? I mean, they have no logical thinking. They're insane. Like Ziggy. Oh, you planted that stuff. Why would this lady plant this shit? Why would she do that? That just doesn't make no sense, right? It don't make no sense. I mean, they could have put him in prison if his sister didn't want to testify. That's why he only did 3 months. He got 3 months because she wouldn't testify. If she wanted his ass or to do something to him, she could have got him years in prison by just testifying against him. Right? When he, that's called attempted. That's called, what he did was attempted murder. They could have got him on an attempted murder charge if she would have testified. She didn't. He could have been in jail for years if they wanted to do that. Why would they want to go up there and fucking muddy up a bathroom and put a little girl's t-shirt in? Where are they even going to get a little girl's t-shirt from? Where? I don't even know. You know what I would like to ask that sister? I did, get to ask a question or two over there in the chat, where she was. And but I really would have liked to ask, the sister, is this the white shirt? Was this the white shirt that was in the bathroom? Was it a shirt like this, all muddied up in that bathroom? Right? That's what I would like to ask her. Was it like this? Could it have been, could she take time to look through, all the pictures of Summer to see if maybe the shirt is one that in a video or in a picture of Summer. Maybe she can identify the shirt being on Summer at some point. You know, that's what I like to ask her. Does she remember? I wish she would have took some pictures. I wish she would have used her cell phone and taken some pictures of that muddy bathroom and that shirt. You know, I wish she would have took pictures so we could have seen them. So we could have, saw the mess, saw what was going on. Um, it's sad she didn't. It's sad that she didn't take pictures. Because I would have. I would have taken pictures. Just saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. It didn't fit her properly. And another thing I was wondering is what size was that lingerie? Was that lingerie like, would it be way too small for Laura? Because she said it definitely wasn't Laura's. So would it have been way too small or would it have been way too big? You know? I mean, would that lingerie fit a little girl? That's what I want to know. Would it fit like a little girl? Or would it fit, somebody like Jody Sue or Candace, a bigger woman? These are questions that will help Summer's case. It will give us a better handle on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It'll give us a better handle of what's going on. But, I did see Fred wearing a woman's pink shirt. I did see him wearing a woman's pink top in a picture, right? Did you see it? Put a one in the chat if you've seen him wearing the pink woman's top. Because I saw it. I think I got it. I think I have it somewhere. But I seen him wearing a woman's blouse. Yeah, I did. Yes, he was. I saw it. So I mean, he might have a phenomenon sign. I don't know. He may have yeah, exactly. I knew I seen it. Uh, I'm going to tell you something. The waterfall. No, the reason he almost got taken out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Miss Justice. The reason he almost got taken out is because a lot of people believe that he was the reason. See, Cotton has a lot of family. Cotton's got a lot of family, and a lot of Cotton's family is in law. And a lot of his family is also in jail, probably. So, what happened is Fred got thrown in jail where a lot of Cotton's family is, and they suspected that, they suspect he was, that he had, because it's word is Fred and Laura had all to do with what happened to Cotton. That's word, not my word. That's word, on the streets in Tennessee where they live. So and I heard Cotton's a good guy. I heard he was a good guy. I heard he'd take the shirt off his back to help people and everything else. And his family loved him. Even though he had issues, they loved him. And so basically Fred was from what I heard through the grapevine, allegedly, the reason that he was almost on live inside that jail was because of what he did what they believe he done to Cotton. What they believe he done to Cotton. It had nothing to do with the waterfalls or anything else. It had all to do with what they believed he did to Cotton because Cotton had seen, what he supposedly saw on Fred's property that Cotton had told his family about. So, that's what I'm hearing. And this lady, the lady said that there was camera system and that she don't know where the cards were. And she also said, so Fred, just like Allison had cameras and she didn't report any of them, right? June the 15th, all her cameras disappeared. And then Fred had cameras, all of his cameras disappeared. Jody Sue had cameras, all of hers disappeared. Come on. I mean, like I said, they're a bunch of amateurs. They told on themselves. If you ask me. I believe they all had something to do with this child. Absolutely. That's my opinion. I really do. And, and I just pray that at some point, I pray at some point, one of them, come clean and let this baby be found. I pray that one of them tells the truth and allows this little girl to be laid to rest and her brothers to get closure. I really do. But I think I really truly believe that they're just too big of fucking cowards to ever do that. I think they're all just a bunch of fucking cowards that, that they're just too sinister. They're too sinister. They're not worried about their soul. They're worried about keeping their asses out of prison. And, they shouldn't ever had nothing to done with it to begin with. This little girl should still be here. This little girl should have, had a beautiful life. She should have had beautiful parents. Don Wells should have been willing to give his life for his children. Don Wells should have been protecting his children. He should have been the fucking dad. The fucking dad that he should have been. He should have been a real dad. And he wasn't. He wasn't. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that he was a piece of shit. This little girl had to pay the price. She had to pay the price for two pieces of shit parents. Candace, this little girl should have been the apple of Candace's eye. Candace should have hurt somebody. She should have been willing to hurt somebody to keep her daughter close to her. The only daughter she had left, right? The other one don't want a damn thing to do with her. She only had one left, and she should have held it close to her, and she should have protected her daughter. She should have loved, and she should have protected her at all cost. And people would have had respect for her. They'd have had Don Wells would have had respect if Candace would have, been a mama bear to her kids. If she'd have, she would have been willing to put him in his place for her children. He'd have respected that. And the other people would have respected it as well. But she was a weak bitch. She was a weak piece of shit. Just mindless, brainless. And where is she now? Where is she now? She's up at Ben Hill Road wasting the fuck away, right? Old toothless bitch wasting away. Where she needs to be. Stinky ass, don't take a bath. Wasting the fuck away up there. And it is what it is. And at some point, Don's like, what? I mean, this motherfucker's over the hill, right? He's already sliding down the other side. He's already on this other side sliding. And what happens? What happens when he's not around him? There ain't nothing gonna come. Nothing wants Candace. Benny Keys ran like hell, right? He like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Hell no, can't do it. I mean, that old boy, man, he ain't been the same since he went on Ben Hill Road. And look at Ernie. Look at her. He ain't been the same either. I mean, these motherfuckers get one whiff to Candace and they just can't forget it, right? It makes them crazy. They're like, whoa, you know, man, bitch, you bottled that up, nobody buy it, right? You bottle that shit up, nobody would buy it. That's like fucking Pippi Le Pew shit. You can't wait to get gone. And you know, and them guys just didn't get gone fast enough, right? They didn't get gone fast enough. So I don't know. I don't know, you guys. But that's where she's at. And you know, old Don, you know, slides down the other side and she gonna be all alone. She gonna be fucking, you know, she ain't even gonna be able to, you know, chew the fat with nobody. She ain't got no teeth. Nobody wants that. And hell, she don't take a bath, right? She don't ever take a bath. It's like hell, nobody's gonna live with that. She's gonna have to, you know, they're gonna be like, go crawl in the fucking hole you came out of, lady. You know, there ain't nobody else trying to lick past the smell. Trust me. Ain't nobody gonna fucking do that. So that's done been proven, right? That's done been proven. That's why she probably goes and hangs on to little teenage boys, right? And they be trying to deny the shit. They be like, no, not me. I didn't touch that. Hey, AK, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. God bless. Listen, y'all. PG gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. You know, I'm gonna tell you, you know, Fred told on himself. He's the one that said he was up there looking through the glass at the kids, right? That not me. Not me. I just made the picture. I just made the picture. You know, I brought it to life so everybody could see Fred looking through the window at the kids. That's all PG done. You know, I want you guys to get a visual of Fred looking through a window. Right? Pretty fucking scary if you ask me. If I was a kid, I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see it. But anyway, PG's out of here. Hopefully, God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. We can come back tomorrow night, talk about the wet bandits again, right? Right there. Right there. Wet bandits escape. All right. We'll come back tomorrow night and talk about that again. And I'll bring Laura's voice. I'll bring Laura's voice against the person in the car that was videoing Summer in the back seat. We'll go over that tomorrow night. We'll go over Allison's voice. We'll go over, we'll go over that again. Since people's interested in hearing it. I'm interested now, hearing it myself. So we'll do that. And bring the other stuff we have too, because I know there's going to be a whole lot more, right? There's a whole lot of stuff out here right now, you guys. Whole lot of stuff going on in the YouTube world. All kinds of stuff going on, all over the place, right? I even heard Michael Vaughn's mother. Right, I heard Michael Vaughn's mother talking with Stacy, and that's happened. That's happened over the last few days as well. So a lot going on out here, and and we'll be talking about it. All the things and calling out the truth. We'll be calling out the truth, you guys. Absolutely. 235 people left in here for me to ask to pray for Summer. 239. 239. We got like 4 people came back in. 239 people in here to pray for Summer. And God bless each and every one that waited to be asked to pray for her. Keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up, because God's bringing people out of the woodwork on this case. I mean, he's brought this woman out to tell what she knows now. I'm telling you, God is pulling Summer's case to the light. What you do in the dark shall be pulled to the light, right? Whether you do good or bad, it shall be measured up and poured back upon you. Let it be good or let it be bad. It will be poured back upon you. Well, it sounds like some of these people's getting it poured upon them, right? Seems like Fred getting it poured upon him. There's some truth getting poured out on Fred. And I'm telling you, the Lord's pulling this little girl's case to the light. There's always these new people popping up in Summer's case, letting us know more and more about what happened. More and more telling the story of what happened. And what we're doing is we're putting it together. We're calling it out. And hopefully law enforcement can put it together as well and start prosecuting upon it. Amen. So let us keep the prayers going up, because I'm going to tell you, the only one that can solve this case, and I've said it a million times, is God Almighty. God Almighty is the only one that can solve this case. Law enforcement, nobody can do nothing without God. God's got to have his hand in it. So keep the prayers going up, because God will answer. He is answering. He is answering. I know he's answering, little by little, but he's answering. So please keep those prayers going up until we get the whole story and we get Summer found and justice served in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Keep those prayers going up, you guys. That's why God put you here. He put you here for this baby and to do all we can do to get things done. Why more hasn't been done, I don't know, but it will be. And they're spelling out Summer Moon, Utah Wells in the chat. God bless Miss Justice. I absolutely, justice for you. I really like that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful that you spelled her name out. Please keep the prayers going up. Keep them going up for little Michael Vaughn. For Michael Vaughn. I heard Stacy talking to Brandy. I don't know if they had anything to do with Michael's disappearance or not. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't cover Michael Vaughn's case. I just didn't really cover his case at all. And, that's another one I tried to stay away from. I try to stay away from it. I'd like to know the answers, but I stay away from that case. But I heard him talking, and it sounds to me like, I don't know. I have no idea, you guys. But, I mean, I have my opinions. I have my opinions on Michael's case, but, I have my opinions, but, I don't cover this case. I don't even really want to talk about it, to be honest with you. And, it's just some cases, I'm not called to cover. If I'm not called to cover a child's case, I don't. If I'm like, Some cases I just get the feeling to stay away from, and I do. And that was one of them. So, you know, I don't know what to say. I was, I was called to cover Quentin. I was called to cover Kylie Romney. I was called to cover, little Elijah Vu. I was called to cover Summer. I was really called to cover Summer. Some of these kids I am, some of them I'm not. And so that's the most I can say. But keep the prayers going up for him. He needs to be found, brought home, justice served. So keep the prayers going up for little Michael. Keep them going up for Sebastian. He's another one needing to be found, brought home, and justice served. We're here for the victims. We're not here for anything else. Just the victims, you guys. We're here to get the truth. We don't want nothing else. We just want the truth because that's the only thing that's going to help these children, right? That's it. And that's what we do. And we're going to continue to do it. A lot of people might not like it, but we don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. We're here for one thing and one thing only. And that's for these missing children. They're the ones who need to be found. Nobody else is lost. Nobody, Don Wells ain't lost. Candace ain't lost. Seth Rogers ain't lost. Katie and Chris ain't lost. Right? None of these people are lost. The children are. And that's who we're here for. Just saying. But anyway, PG's going to go. I'm going to get out of here. I want to say Merry Christmas. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. Wednesday, I want to let you guys know on Wednesday. No, not Wednesday, Tuesday night. Christmas Eve, Tuesday night, we will be having, I will be coming in and have a little Christmas Eve thing for Summer, for Christmas. I'll be playing the videos and everything. If you have any pictures of Summer that you would like me to add to the videos, please send them to me. Send them to me by Monday, so I can get them. Incorporated into the videos that will be played out on Tuesday. If you got a Christmas card you want me to put in for anything, maybe a picture of a plant that you bought because of Summer, a Christmas ornament you bought because of Summer, anything that you want to, me to incorporate into her video, send it to me through Facebook, or the email. I'll check the emails. Either way, whichever's best for you, send it to me and I will incorporate it in for you. So you'll see it in the video as it plays out on Tuesday evening. That I wanted to let everybody know that. And, or, if you want, you have a recipe you would like me to, put in to the video, send it. I'll put it in. Whatever you want that reminds you of Summer, send it in. It'll be played out for you. Pray for one another, you guys. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people in this chat right now who needs prayers. There's a lot of people that was in here earlier needing prayers. There's a lot of folks that really right now are dependent on your prayers to go up for them. They say there's nothing like a mother's prayer. Well, a lot of us don't have our mommies anymore. And we rely on other people's prayers now. So please pray for everyone. Pray for everyone, because that's what you're supposed to do. Even our enemies, we got to pray for them, because that's what Jesus told us to do. I've often wondered why, but I'm probably not going to ask, but We was told to do it. We was told to do it, so we got to do it. So keep those prayers going up for everybody. Just let God know that you don't know what what they need, what they want, but you'd like to send a prayer up for everyone in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And that's just, that's how simple it is. It only takes a minute. And, Jesus is listening. He knows what he told you to do. So let's be a doing it. And it'll make everybody's life a lot better. And if you get time, hey, pray for me and mine. Listen, I know someone's praying. I know someone's praying for me and mine. And I want to tell you, whoever it is, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love.